All right. Hello, all you beautiful, wonderful, amazing tea people live on Instagram and YouTube here. And as you can see, it is an absolutely beautiful morning. Thankfully, not quite as well, it's earlier. So the last time everything had to shut down because the phone ran out of juice. The phone ran out of juice. And so this time it's a little bit not quite so hot. So it should be better for sure today. Today updates talking about what's going on, how the spring season is going, and all of that type of stuff. And these two teas, which will be added to the site, uh, um, these two teas, which will be added to the site soon, right? These two teas will be added to the site soon. I think I'll probably just wait. Anyways, let's go into the updates about the subscription. So if you get the subscription, first thing that's most important about the subscription is it's going out late this month. And the reason it's going out late this month, there's a couple reasons why it's going out late this month. The biggest one simply being that my wife has said to me, no, you cannot go on your trip. The kids are still too nervous about the typhoons, so you got to stay at home. So I'm relying on phoning up my connections, getting the samples sent here, trying out the samples, and then getting the teas in. And so that is taking a little bit longer. Also, this year's a little bit slower than usual, right? So this year's a little bit slower than usual. And so basically that means that the subscription box is going to be sent out mid to late next week. So I'm looking at, I think the 10th is sort of the cutoff date for when it gets sent out. But I promise, because I've already bought it. I didn't even taste it yet. But I promise there will be snow mist, at least one snow mist tea in the next subscription box. So I might do two. I might do this year the white teas were hugely popular for them, and so they could only give me half my allocation for white teas. But so I'm not going to throw those in the subscription box. But I'm gonna be probably the oolong and the black tea will be in next month's subscription box. So everybody get to try out. If you're on the subscription service, you get to try that out. But yeah, I apologize for that. The subscription box is going to be late by about a week. I'm going to send out a bunch of emails to people probably today or tomorrow. But yes, to avoid the heat, and you're not asleep yet. Yes, well, it's what day is it? So it's earlier, right? It's earlier for everybody. I won't make the comment about Friday night. So I was thinking about it. I'm like, okay, so it's early, beautifully early in the morning for me on Saturday morning, and then for most of the people who buy the tea, it's either Friday night or if you're in Europe, it's like you're at a nightclub and it's very, 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 very early in the morning or very, very late at night for you. Anyways, I don't know if you can hear that, but for some reason, my neighbor, their laundry to go down into the water drain, there's like this much missing. So the two laundry makes that noise. But anyways, whatever. Anyways, we can talk about the two teas here, and if anybody has any questions about yeah, that's pretty good. If anybody has any questions about this springtime, let me know. So, what are these two teas? They're in. I've got huge bags of them. They will be on the site. And I'm debating on how to release all this stuff. Because, when I usually release stuff, I usually do the 10% off. The problem is that I just know next week there's just going to be like this huge boom of teas. So there's going to be like a bunch of teas that I'll offer for 10% off. So I'll probably just wait. I'll package them up and get them ready next week, and then I'll release them next Sunday. But what these two teas are, here you've got just the Phoenix Valley Shanlin Chi right here, which is the standard tea that we get every single year from the same garden. And this tea is a little bit special. So what is Shanlinchi? The difference between Shanlinchi and most other places is the dirt. So the dirt of Shanlinchi is muddy, thick. It's like you look at it, you're like, oh, that's a rock, and you pick it up, and it's like it just crumbles, like it's thick mud. And so when you're looking at the flavor of Shanlinchi, you're looking at similar to what you would get in Alishan, sort of those same flavor characteristics, but muddier. So the flavors are just like they coat your tongue. It's thicker, whereas the Alishans have like stages and they're floaty and floating around and things like that. Always excited about Shanlinchi. Yes. Well, this one is the standard Shanlinchi. I got a little bit of the wintertime left, but this is the standard springtime stuff. This was done on the 18th, so it's super fresh. And it's just got everything that's going on with those Shanlinchi teas, right? This is a higher elevation, so it's light, and then the aftertaste just goes forever. Just goes forever. Now, this one over here, like stone fruit, just a smooth swallow. Everything is just like, and then the aftertaste just lasts forever and ever, just really thick and muddy. But this one is a lighter, higher elevation. This one over here is one that I don't usually get. It's a noisy morning, right? It's a noisy morning. So we got, there it is up here. You can see it on there's the F-16. They're all coming in for their coffee break, right? So they don't start flying until about 8:30, and then they take off, and then they come back in around this time of the day for their coffee break. But anyways, this one here is from a different garden, and this garden is only about 1,200 to 1,300 meters above sea level. And I usually don't get tea from this garden. I'm excited about this one, but do you expect Hong Oolong from Phoenix Valley too? A Hong Oolong from Phoenix Valley? I'm waiting on that. Usually they don't do those until June though, right? So we'll get into this in a second. I'll just give you sort of there's another one flying by. I'll just give you another, there's a bunch of different teas that you can make from every single tea leaf in every single season, right? So every single tea leaf from every single season can make red oolongs, all these different things. But they, unless it's like like snow mist. So snow mist, they just make 4 different types of tea in the spring when they have the leaves. They make the black tea, they make the oolong tea, they make the white tea, and they make the GABA, right? So I'm getting all 4 of those. They're coming in next week. And because they know they can sell out. They don't have a lot. They're super expensive, but they're super good. They're the best. They're just the best. But the other gardens, when the leaves are really full out, the market in Taiwan demands this type of greenish oolong, right? So this is what the market demands. The market demands this. And this is a really classic. The stem's a little long on this one, but this is what you're looking at for your springtime tea, right? This stem is a little bit too long. Most of the stems are not that long. Here's a better example. You're looking at this, right? So you're looking at this. There's the stem right there. So there, I got to do them both here. Oh, there we go. It's in both cameras. So the stem is about this long. And then here, this is the spindly stem that comes up. So this is the cold weather. And then boom, the springtime comes. And then this comes. And this is the pick. This is the tea right here. Every single time, this is what the local market demands. So the other types of teas, they don't really go for that, right? So the other types of teas, they don't do that. In fact, I much prefer the Hong Oolongs and things like that to this. Not to say I don't like this, but I prefer those. And so they make that with sort of the second flush or the second picking, but sort of June and things like that. And like, for example, with this tea right here, this is a lower elevation tea. It's much cheaper than this tea, but this is a lower elevation tea, and it's been bitten by bugs. And that's why it's special, right? I gave it away, but it's been bitten by bugs. And so that's why it's special. So I'm just going to feel the back of this phone. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's not too hot. It's not going to cut out like last time. So this has been bitten by bugs, and that's why I got it. Now, this is a lower elevation garden. When you put these two together, you're like, wow, it's a big difference, right? Because this is lower elevation, so it's got more vegetative, it's got more bitterness, astringency, kick to it, but it's been bitten by bugs. And so in the springtime, it's really, really rare. Like I always get the samples from this garden. So these are two different gardens. One is the sort of the lower elevation garden. This one's the higher elevation garden, and from a different area. And this is from an area that's not like, it's just cheaper tea. It's just cheaper tea. And in general, I don't go for just cheaper tea because I want the you know, a good mix for all those different things anyways. But the point is that this tea has actually it's got it more sort of in the first steep because that's, you know, the way bug bites work, but it's got a sweetness to it and a sweet bug biteness, a kick to it that this tea just doesn't have. It's more immediate, it's fuller, it's thicker, and it's sweeter. And in this lower garden, that's really rare. In this lower garden, it's really quite rare, right? You don't usually get that. Now, this one is hand-picked, right? So this tea is all hand-picked. They're all really nice hand-picked teas. This one's machine-picked. Again, it's gonna be cheaper, but it has this little bit of a sweetish kick to it. Now, why am I saying this in the context of the Hong Oolong? I wish this was made into a Hong Oolong because it would be a honey fragrance Hong Oolong from Shanlinshi in the springtime. So it would be sweet and it would be smooth. Well, hopefully it'd be smooth. And it would be, you know, would have all of these caramel aspects to it. You could put a little bit of a touch of a roast on it and it would just be, oh, it'd be so good. I think so anyways. But that's not the market, right? So that's not the market. The local market is not like that. It's not my tea garden, so I can't do that. And so this guy, my buddy who does this stuff, he makes these teas. He does them in a way that is, you know, for his market. What he wants to do is he wants to find somebody who's going to buy a crap ton of this stuff, and he wants to sell it right away. Right? He's not like me, who I'm like, well, I'll take some of this, and oh, what am I going to call it? And you know, no, he's like, I've made this tea, I have my costs, and I want to pay my workers, and I want to get it out. And this is the tea that he can do that with, right? And this too as well, obviously. And so that's why they make it into sort of the greenish oolong, because the local market wants the greenish oolong. Now, like I said, I usually don't buy the tea from this garden, because if I can buy this tea, but this tea, you know, I'm going to call it sweet Shanlinshi, bug-bitten Shanlinshi. I don't know what I'm going to call it. I gotta do up the green leaf hopper Shanlinshi. I don't know what I'm going to call it. Anyways, but it has been bitten by the bugs. And so it's unique. And I was thinking I was going to, you know what I was going to do? Because these types of teas, if you roast them, beautiful things can happen. So when you roast a tea like this, absolutely beautiful things can happen. But you know what? It's already so good. I'm just like, you know what? You know what? I'm just going to sell it right now. I'm not going to try and roast it. I'm not going to try and do anything else to it. I'm just going to sell it right now because it is. It's just a beautiful, beautiful tea. And so, yeah, it's just great. But anyways, those are the two new teas. So what else is going on? And these teas, I'm going to package them up. I'm probably not going to have them on the website. I'll probably release everything not this Sunday, but next Sunday. And again, I apologize for the lateness for this month for the subscription service, but earthquakes and sort of a little bit of a delayed season. And so, you know, I pay attention to some of the other people and the way they do subscriptions at some of the other places. And I'm like, I do this every month. Every month I do this. Am I crazy? You know, like some of the other people, they're like, oh yeah, we have a box and we'll just get to it whenever we get to it. Just pay me now, and you know, you can we'll send it out when we're done. Yeah, it's already been a couple months, but these things take time, and fair enough, they do. But I send out these boxes every single month, and I'm feeling bad. I'm like, I got to send out a bunch of emails today because I got to get these boxes out to people. I got to let people know that their box is going to be 2 weeks late this month, and I feel bad about it. But it's crazy over the years when I've been able to pull that off. What do you guys have right now that I should buy? Well, Kainchen depends 100% on what your favorite flavor profiles are. So what's your favorite profile? And if you have a favorite taste profile, then let me know, and I'll let you know whether you should buy it now or whether you should wait. So what's going to happen in the next week? I'm going to get these teas are already in. I'm hoping that I'm going to get the Snow Mist teas. They'll be released, so they're going to be on their way, which is always just the best. Then I'm hoping I can get sort of the buttermilk oolong. I'm thinking that I'm gonna hop in the van and go and do a trip up to, because I can do a day trip, right? So from here I can do a day trip up to the Baozong area. So what I should do is go up and get some Baozong. But this year that it's been slow, but I can probably find some Baozong. And so get some Baozong maybe next week. The big thing is the Alishan stuff. I was saving all the Alishan stuff to go up there myself and get it. I wanted to go up to Alishan, travel around, get that stuff, and it just hasn't happened. So I think the Alishan teas are going to be delayed this year, unfortunately. But I like Savory Whites, Young Shengs, and Menthol Show. Okay, so this is I'm a Taiwanese tea guy, right? Those are all amazing things, and it's hard to find those particular flavor profiles in Taiwan. What I would say, though, is for sure the Sanxia White. Try that out. If you like the Young Shengs, what would be a flavor profile for one of the Young Shengs that we got on the site? I'll come back to that in a second. If you like Menthol Show, Ruby 18. Right? So the Ruby 18 is something you're really going to enjoy. And and the Ruby 18 White. So there's the hybrid Ruby 18. The Ruby 18 just itself, the hybrid Ruby 18 White, you'll love that, right? That's like, it's the menthol from a show without the show, with more of a white light tea sort of in the background. A little bit savory as well. So the hybrid white, you probably like the hybrid white more than you like the Ruby 18 black, but you got to try that one for sure. Eastern Beauty right now, I'm sold out of Eastern Beauty. I'm very, 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 very picky about Eastern Beauty because there's so many people that have crap Eastern Beauties that they sell really expensively. So I'm super, 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 super picky about Eastern Beauty. So I won't have that in stock until maybe June. If you want to try sort of the bug bitten stuff, the honey black oolong is okay right now. You can try that for sort of the bug bitten. But I'm waiting on the spring. I'm a bug bitten nerd. All right. So I am, I live in a place that's all the bug bites. And so it's really hard for me to bring in the bug bitten teas. And when they do come in, they sell out so fast because they're so good. They just they're the best of the best, because I'm a bug bitten nerd. So I don't have any Eastern Beauty. I'm waiting till June. I don't have any honey black oolong. I'm waiting till June. But the honey fragrance black tea, but the honey black oolong's okay. I just got some from another company, and I could contrast. Yes, Ruby 18, definitely jump on the Ruby 18, the hybrid white and the Ruby 18 black. You'll have fun with that. Young Sheng. Anybody else have any suggestions for Young Sheng, a Taiwanese sort of Young Shengy type of thing? Is it the cha chi that you want? Because if you want to get drunk, then the 1970s oolong is that's what it is. Will you have an Alishan black type of tea? I sure hope so. Best spring teas will be in June. Yes. Best spring teas will be in June. It's a little bit later this year. And so late May, early June, the spring teas will all be out. And so if you really want to get the best of the best tea, well, it depends on what you consider best of the best. The snow mist will be next week, but they probably last. I bought a bunch, so it'll probably last until then, no problem. But yeah, so early June is when sort of the best teas are. They're all on the site. Early June. But Young Sheng, I'm trying to think. Okay, let's go. Let's fly through the tea shelves. Young Sheng. Yeah, if you want to get drunk, it's that one. It's the 1970s oolong. The 1980s oolong is the 1980 oolong is also on the site. It's also really really good, but it's a really really advanced tea. Like I was joking with a buddy of mine. Um, it's called it like the narcissist, right? Because it tastes like daffodils, but you brew it, you work hard and you brew it and you get the daffodil flavor and you're like, wow, I'm so amazing. I got that daffodil flavor. Wow. Oh, I'm starting to get a little tea drunk. And then the next steep is like crap. And you're like, oh no, like it's this, you got to be really, 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 really careful with that tea. It's an expensive tea and it's one that needs to be brewed to like the utmost ability. It's a really fascinating tea. Oh, it's doing that thing again. Sorry about that. Yes, will you have an Alishan Black? Yes, I will. Absolutely, but that's going to be late June, my guess. And like I said, I really, really want to get to Alishan, but my wife has said, no, you have to stay at home until all the earthquakes stop. And they basically have stopped. So I'm hoping that I can go probably mid-May. But I'm hoping I can get like the Alishan Red. I've talked about it before. My buddy who does that, his wife has been sick, so he hasn't really done too much tea for a while. But I was hoping I could go and see them. But mid-May to late May. By the way, the Sencha Green was awesome. Yeah. And that reminds me, I just got in some samples the other day. I've been adding a bunch of teas that sold out, but adding them back to the site. So for example, the aged Sancha White is back on the site, the tea cake. So if you like those tea cakes, that's back on the site. 1980 Wu Oolong, the 1970s Oolong. I'm trying to think what else. Anyways, the point is, I sold out of the springtime tea, and I'm just going to get some in. Actually, as soon as I finish this, I don't have a pen here, but when I finish this, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to get some in. So there should be some more. It's not quite exactly as spectacular as that Sancha Green from the spring, but it's in the same ballpark, right? So we're looking at like, that one this year was just like, that was the top, that was the peak that it's been the last 4 or 5 years. So it was like up here, and this one's like here. It's from the 27th of March. So I'll get that one, and it's really good. It's really good. And but yeah, I'll get that in as well. But I'm just about out of tea, the green tea. I gotta remember to. Anyways, the point is, yes, it was very very good. Yeah, it's funny because I basically do everything myself, right? Well, with help from my family, but I pack the tea and I order the tea and I have the relationships with all the tea people and I do all the stuff myself. And it's fascinating to me how I can keep track of everything. Like I really like it's always amazing to me how I can pull that off. Anyways, I am starting to sweat up a storm, so I worry that my digital equipment is going to crap out of me. I hope not. I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't, but I'm a little worried about that. But yeah, so I got these in. I'm going to pack these up today over the next couple of days. My boys can earn some money, some chin. They can earn some money. And Yeah. Throwing that out there? Any last questions about anything? Have you had the Gongko from southern Taiwan from the Sri Lee cultivar? I have not, and I have not had that tea. It's an interesting question. Last time I was down there, I tried to get in touch with them. It's just one place, and it's literally just in the middle of nowhere. It's a really fascinating place, really fascinating garden, and I've had it a couple times over the years, and it's interesting because of what it is, and it's probably the last place in Taiwan that I haven't really gone and stomped around. But it's just not that interesting. It's just not that, for me anyways, it's just not that interesting. And everybody I've talked to has also sort of been that way. They've sort of been like, it's not that, it's not earth shattering. It's interesting, it's fascinating, but I haven't gone out of my way to get it. And I should. I took the family down there to Kending a while ago, and I was gonna, rent a scooter and go over and see them, and then I didn't, because mostly they were like, they were kind of like, uh, they're like, oh, we're only, it's the off season, so we don't really accept people and blah blah blah. I was like, okay, whatever, like that. But it was the off season. It's kind of salty seaweed, warm tasting to me. Exactly, right? Exactly, and it's extremely different than it's salty. It's an ocean breeze salty tea, and I already have that tea. Like, so the deep water coastal mountain tea, which is, I still drink it all the time. It's like literally my favorite tea, and uh, I just love it because I love that salty upfront and then the fruit aftertaste. I just love it. I just love that contrast. But that one is like salty upfront and then vegetally seaweedy aftertaste, and it's like But I should have it on the site. I should have it on the site. How can I call myself a tea expert without having every single type of tea on the site, right? But yeah. And by no means am I saying it's a bad tea. By no means am I placing a value judgment on it. For me, anyways, I just haven't. I don't go out of my way to get tea. I didn't go out of my way to get it. Basically, basically. Okay. Yeah, the aftertaste on this one, the higher elevation stuff, is just so beautiful. The aftertaste is just like, and just lasts forever. The aftertaste on this one, not so strong, right? It doesn't last as long, but it's got some bug bites, so it's a little bit sweeter, and it's much 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 more affordable, which is really important to me. When you get teas like the when you get teas like the snow mist teas, which are amazing, beautiful, but wildly expensive. Like how much more expensive? Um, like, anyways, a lot more expensive. I won't go into all the details, um, but they're a lot more expensive. A lot more expensive. Are you gonna have the Mayor's Roast Oolong? I had it last year, and it was good for the price. The Mayor's Oolong last year was there's two of these. Um, it was one of the best value teas I think we've ever had, for sure. And that's mid-May, so I'm hoping when I go up to Alishan I can get it. But it was also kind of an accident. It was his tea is usually not that good, but for some reason last year it was amazing. It was amazing. Like I gave it to a couple buddies and they bought huge amounts of that tea to roast themselves, and uh, and I don't know why it was like that. I don't know why, but I'll have to go there and visit him and sample it. But yes, what tea is to your left? Is it on the site now? Okay, so these two teas, uh, uh, the cameras are all switched up. So this one here, which this one here, which is on my right, I guess. anyways, this one here is just going to be the normal Shanlin Chi tea, right? So this is going to be, I got it actually a little bit cheaper this year, so the price will go down a little bit. And this is the Shanlin Chi Oolong that'll be released on Sunday. And then this one here is, I'm probably going to call it Bug Bit and Shanlin Chi or something like that. And it's a much cheaper tea, and it's a lower elevation, but it's been bitten by bugs. So there was a warm patch in the springtime, and so it got bitten by bugs. So there's a sweetness to it. Now it's got it. This one's more upfront, sweet, that type of flavor, sweet vegetal flavor. Whereas this one's softer, more in the background, and lingering aftertaste. That what you would expect from Shanlin Chi. So those are the teas that I've got here. They're not on the site yet. They will be on the site. Not tomorrow. I'll release them with as many teas as I can get next week. All the Snow Mist teas, and they'll be released next Sunday. And yeah, I feel like it's. I should be doing more stuff, and I should be putting more stuff out there and releasing more teas faster. But the earthquake was an earthquake, so this spring's a little bit slower than usual. And but yeah, so this tea, it's like the first two steeps, super sweet, rich, bug bitten Shanlin Chi. But as you go through the steeps, it just becomes a normal Shanlin Chi. Whereas this one, you keep going through the steeps, and you do all the various stuff you do going through the steeps, and it's just a high quality, higher elevation, beautiful Shanlin Chi Oolong. All right, last call for questions. Yeah, this will be the Shanlin Chi on the site. All right. So last thing again, I apologize. The this month's subscription box will be sent out. My aim is for maybe next Friday, the 10th. That's my aim for getting it out there. And I promise there will be Snow Mist teas in there. There will be the oolong, and there will be the black. Like I said, the white. The allocation for white this year was very, very small, so that's not going to be going in the subscription box. But all those teas will be sent out by Friday, and I apologize for the lateness. It's just what happened. I wanted to go out and get all these teas and blah blah blah, but I couldn't. Alas, I couldn't for various reasons. But anyways, there we go. Thank you for watching wherever in the world you happen to be. I certainly hope you have an amazing morning, afternoon, evening, and all of that. If you're still up, you should go to sleep. If you're like up late, and I certainly hope you have an amazing, wonderful weekend with weather like this. I hope your weather is like this. Anyways, see you next live stream.